welcome to my first episode, my first podcast, doing it by myself, called Your Mental Highness. I'm Dr. Janae Lomaski. I'm a licensed psychologist, and I've been known to also be a lot of fun and hopefully quite funny. So speaking of funny, on the way here, I called my best friend in New Jersey, and I was telling her I'm so nervous to do my first podcast. And she said to me, "What the fuck is a podcast?" And that helped me to calm down right away. Anyway, I also was going to say that how do I start this podcast? I had no idea. I didn't want to just say welcome, so I thought of a bunch of different things. And one of the things that came to mind for me was that in life, we all wear so many hats. And I thought they're going to ask me or want to know why your mental highness. And I thought we wear so many hats. Why wouldn't you want to wear a crown? And today I did bring my crown. It actually says birthday queen because it is my birthday month. Yes, I'm one of those people that take the month. And I think you should take the month as well. We don't get enough care and attention out there, so we may as well give it to ourselves. At least that's what I believe. So anyway, let me move on to having a crown. This can be for man or woman because we all want to feel royal. I notice I'm like looking at myself and ready to correct my hair. So I'm going to look back in that camera and not do that or try not to do that again. So what I've planned for today, for my first episode of Your Mental Highness, is I am going to interview myself. I'm going to ask some questions, and the answers that I give you are going to help you get to know me and what my show is about even better. But I have something for you to do. So while you're listening, I want you to ask yourself some of the same questions, and I want you to answer the way you would answer if it was being asked towards you. Now, all the questions may not apply, but I think a lot of them will, and I want you to really, as psychologists say, process it, okay? So we may as well go on and start the show. First question. Dr. J, what is the show Your Mental Highness about? Good question, right? I wrote it. I get it. Okay, this show is where I'm going to give you a royal dose of psychopathology, laughter, definitely neuroses. I think you can tell already. Lots of love, lots of support, and endless techniques, strategies, and tools to cope with life, with this wild journey that we're all on, because it's not easy. I know. So I'm going to give you as much as I can, and hopefully you'll latch on to some of those tools and it'll help you. I'm going to also talk about all different types of mental health conditions, such as anxiety disorders, bipolar disorders, family systems, functional relationships, definitely dysfunctional relationships. I'm pretty good at that. And my favorite, personality disorders. So, yep, that includes narcissism. So we're definitely going to get to that. So anyway, if it's ADD, OCD, PTSD, yeah, I'm going to talk about it. All right. Next question. Let's get into some mental stuff. A good question I thought about, and it's a 3-part question, is do you talk to yourself? And if so, what do you usually say? And is it healthy or not to talk to yourself? Well, yes, I do talk to myself. Yeah, I talk to myself. And I was asked when I walked in here if I talk out loud to myself. And yes, I do. And no, it doesn't mean you're crazy. Well, not for everyone. It's possible. Yes, there are psychiatric disorders, but you definitely can talk to yourself because not only is it healthy, it's normal and it benefits you in some way. Talking to yourself, your brain, like your voice needs to be like the most loyal companion that you have. And that very voice might have been a voice that you've been told to silence in your life. Well, we're not going to do that in here. You're going to find your voice, you're going to use your voice, and you're going to assert yourself with me. So self-talk in general is good for you. It guides you through decision making. It helps you regulate your emotions. That's the big thing now, right? Everyone comes into sessions and having a difficult time regulating their emotions. Well, guess what? So do I. But I'm going to help you. And there's lots of tools and lots of strategies and lots of techniques and lots of ways to fake it to regulate your emotions. Okay. You have to have good self-talk because that's what is going to shape your perceptions of yourself, and it's going to shape the perceptions you have of others. So that's my answer for that one. My next question for interviewing myself, Dr. J, what do you say when you talk to yourself? So this is like my commentary. This is like my day-to-day commentary, and you have one too. You know what I'm talking about. We all say similar or same things to ourselves day in and day out. So my commentary goes like this. It's going to be an amazing day. This is the way I start out. I need my coffee. That's definitely the first couple of things I say or I think about. You're going to kick ass today. Mm-hmm. Breathe. I say that throughout the day. Say what you mean and mean what you say. That's a big one. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Reminding myself and reminding others. Set limits. Breathe. Then about midday, the commentary goes like this. F this shit. Set better limits. Shit, shit, shit. I need to go to the gym. I'm getting distracted. I need more coffee. Stop texting your patients. Have them come in for a session. It's better for them, and you're supposed to be teaching them boundaries. If Gomez poos on the rug, I'm done. That's my dog. Yeah, he has a thing about pooing on the rug. Can you relate? It drives me mad, but he's so cute. It's probably the most love-hate relationship that I have in my life. Then the day goes on and the commentary goes, I need more coffee. If my son doesn't take out the garbage, I'm done. You can do this. I'm going to have a good day. Day is almost over. And yep, that's about it. So I want you to think about yours. And if you can relate to any of those, well, then we're both pretty, crazy a little bit, which is actually a good thing. All right, next question. Dr. J, what do you love? Actually, no, we're not going to do that one yet. We're going to go to Dr. J, what do you want for and from your listeners? So this is what I want from you. I want you to become my royal family because I'm your mental highness. I want you to be my royal listeners. And I want you to learn to experience your royalty in your own unique way. I want this time for you to listen in to my show or watch my show, and let this be the time that you get to quiet your mind, calm your body, feel empowered, strengthen your mental muscle, and hopefully laugh your ass off. Because laughter is medicine and laughter is so therapeutic. So I do this in my sessions. Humor is one of my top coping skills. Not sarcasm, but humor. And we'll go into that another time with sarcasm, or maybe later today. Like I said, I really want you to feel empowered. And I just realized it's so liberating that I can use some profanity. I do feel some profanity is actually freeing, and not too much, although sometimes I do go overboard, but it's just the way I express myself. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, and You're kind of wired that way. Although I did a good job of cleaning it up when I became a professional and when I moved to Florida. Not that people don't use profanity in Florida, because they definitely do. And not that people don't use profanity in my profession, because psychologists definitely do. I don't want to mislead you in any way. Okay, we're going to move on to the next question. Dr. J, I had an order here because I'm very OCD. We'll get into that also. I'm just going to share little things as they pop up in my head. Dr. J, who are you? I remember writing this paper in graduate school on, it was exactly that. Who am I? And we had to write it, and it was probably like 30 pages. He wanted it to be like at least 20 to 30 pages. Mine was 30 pages. And when I got it back, I'm looking at the first page where you get your grade, and in red, the professor writes, "This is all wrong." And I thought, what? How does he know that I don't know who I am? I was like, oh my God, talk about a blow. How does he know I don't know who I am? What I did learn is he pretty much wrote that on everyone's paper, and it was because he felt that we weren't being real. We were saying what we thought he wanted to hear, and just like some basic things versus who are you really. So with me and you listening into my show, Your Mental Highness, we are going to figure out who you really are, not what you would write initially, but who you really are, not just your characteristics or your traits, but who you are, the essence of who you are. And that in itself is actually going to empower you, because it's going to make you feel like such a strong sense of self once you really figure this out. At least that's been my journey, and I want to share that with you. So who am I? Well, I am a mom to my 16-year-old son, who I adore. I'm a dog mom to Gomez. I mentioned him before. He's the pooer on the carpet, any carpet. I guess he thinks it's grass, but we'll talk about that, I'm sure, in a whole other show, and I will bring him in. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm a niece. I'm a cousin. I'm a friend. I'm a dancer. And you know, when I've said that before to people, they immediately think pole dancing. Nope, that's not true. I'm a dancer in regards to my initial was ballet. I know how many little girls and boys start with ballet in their lives. I did too, but I took it to a very high level. I danced with Martha Graham. I danced with some major dance companies until I was like 17 and a half. I'll get that half in there because I'm proud of it. And that actually is a big part of me becoming a psychologist, because I was very anxious as a child, and the only time I didn't feel anxiety was when I was in the dance studio. Something about, and you would think not, because there's mirrors all around and there's teachers kind of judging and criticizing, but when I was in that dance room, and I know it has to do with movement of your body and getting out of your head and getting into your body and just being without yourself judging or criticizing. So dance is a big thing in my life, always has been, always will be. It's like breathing to me. So clearly you know by now I love to dance. We'll go on to the next question. All right, moving on. Dr. J, what do you love? And what don't you like? So I want you to think about this too. I want you to think about what you love and what you don't like. And I'm just giving you a response of what came up like automatically for me. I don't want you to think too much about it, just whatever pops up first, because that's usually your subconscious telling you, yes, this is what matters. And we're going to talk about subconscious mind and conscious mind, all that good stuff. So what do I love? I love to laugh. I don't like to cry or throw up. Ugh. I used to like red wine, but now I only drink white because red wine gave me acid reflux. And I don't like that no one tells you aging sucks. Yeah, I'm telling you, it sucks, but we're going to make the best of it. Okay. And I love good perfume. I'm wearing Jean Paul Gaultier Divine today. And it's got this gorgeous bottle with the gold bustier. It's hot and it smells so good. And I get a lot of compliments on it. So, and it's on sale actually at Macy's. So if you're interested. I love designer shoes. I'm wearing some fun shoes today. I don't know if you can see, but they're sparkly because I feel like we have to be sparkly. And I love designer bags. You know, we all have our thing, so I work hard for it. But I also love good coffee. Although those who know me and those who don't and will get to know me, I'll drink any coffee. I love coffee. But when it comes to good coffee, espressos, double espressos, I love good coffee. Cuban coffee, good coffee. I don't like slow drivers, and I don't like traffic. And I don't like having to go to the bathroom a million times during the night. Can you relate? Yeah. There is more on that, but I'll add it as we get to know each other better. So we're going to continue, and we're going to move on to the next question. Dr. J, what is most important to know about you? Well, the most important thing to know about me is that I'm genuine and I'm very kind-hearted. But not the kind-hearted that you get taken advantage of. Well, not anymore. I was that kind, by the way. That's part of my journey. I am a person who definitely not only talks the talk, but who walks the walk, and I'm still walking the walk. So I just have lots of education, which definitely helps and doesn't help, because understanding too much is also not so good. And understanding too much and having so many degrees in education can actually be dangerous. But I'm going to do my best to keep you out of danger on my show. I'm just going to give you the good stuff. Dr. J, next question. Okay. Why are you here? I'm here because I want to share with you that you are not alone. For real. Like, you're not alone. I have 2 master's degrees. I had to look, like, what do I have? I have 2 master's degrees and a doctorate degree, and I am still a hot mess from time to time, okay? Really. Not all the time, but from time to time. So it's not just about your education and what you know, it's life, okay? And I'm going to go through it with you. Let's see, from childhood anxiety, which I had, to melanoma skin cancer, which I've had, to hyperparathyroidism. Have you ever had that one? I meet a lot of women that have had that. And that's when you get this surgery where they take out one or maybe more of your parathyroids. That just came up out of nowhere. Interesting story because they were able to detect it from high calcium levels. And again, this is all affects your psyche. It was one thing after another for me at some point in the years throughout my life. And I remember going in to get the surgery. I actually went to the Norman Parathyroid Center. And when I got there, I thought, I feel fine. Like, I don't want to get this surgery. Like, who wants to get, I am not like weak. Like, I'm pretty tough. And thinking of them cutting through like my neck, that was not working for me. So I was panicking and panicking and panicking. And my mom was with me, and I, at the last minute, said, I don't want to get this. And the doctor came and pulled out a chart and showed me someone that didn't get the surgery when they were there. I guess someone else felt the way I did, and they are no longer with us. So quickly, I said, cut me up. Another fun thing to add on that, what I didn't realize is when you go into surgery, and I'm having like such anxiety and panic, they give you obviously medicine because they have to like cut you. And I remember the nurse, I'll never forget this, putting the needle and saying, do you like wine? And I said, yeah, I like wine. And she said, well, this is going to feel like you just drank a whole bottle. And I remember how good that felt, just at that moment, it calmed me down. And the next thing I remembered was when they woke me up. So whatever they do, they know what they're doing. How did I go off on that tangent? I'll go off on many tangents, probably because I have ADD. Never diagnosed, just self-diagnosed, but you know when you know. So I got you. If you think you do, or if people don't believe you, I got you. What else can I add about that? Okay. Oh, right. The hypoparathyroidism. To then anaphylactic shock because it was from bleach and I wanted to be a platinum blonde so badly. But I didn't realize that I would be allergic to bleach when they just put it on your scalp. So that was an interesting episode. All the way to going on with more of You're Not Alone to a fairly dysfunctional family, but a very loving family. And I definitely have to say that because number one, they are loving, but number two, they will be so mad at me if I don't add that. And they listen to the show, which they better. Let's see. To divorce. Oh yeah, that was a ride. That was a big roller coaster ride for me. The one where you go upside down and then you go backwards, that was my divorce. And all the wrong men that I chose, that I don't choose today, there's good stuff here too, to being a single mom, which I absolutely love and adore. It's tough, but I love it. And yeah, after all that and probably some things I left out, I am a badass. And I'm going to show you, so are you. We don't realize we focus on more negative. It's just the way we're wired. We go to the bad stuff or the stuff we couldn't do or the failures or whatever. But I bet you're a badass like I am, and you need to start saying it, and you need to start accepting your greatness and your amazingness, because if you don't, it doesn't help change your situation. So we're going to go on to the next question. Dr. J, how did you get here? How did I get here? What got you to do a show called Your Mental Highness? What got me to do a show called Your Mental Highness? Well, my insecurities, my fears, my traumas, my bullies, my fear of failure, as well as my own therapy, my inner child, my learning how to self-love, my patients, they got me here, and I love them for it. My son, my family, my special neighbors and friends that I go to on the weekends, especially in my pajamas, and drink their really good coffee. We're going to bring coffee back into here. And they are my pseudo therapists. So I'm so fortunate for them. And my new belief system, which I'm going to talk a little bit about in a minute, so you know what I mean when I say belief system, because it's super important when we talk about mental health to know what your belief system is about. And it took me a long time to get here, to your mental highness, right? But I finally got here. So I'm excited that you are here with me. Let's go on to the next question, which is, Dr. J, what does that even mean? This is what I'm thinking to myself. What does that even mean? Your mental highness. Like, what does that mean? So for me, who doesn't want to feel high? And I don't mean drugs, because that's for another episode, but high energy, high in being positive, high in your relationships, high in your success, high in your career, high in your friendships, high in your love life, high in your sex life. Who doesn't want to feel high? It's like climbing a mountain, which I've never done, but I can only imagine how liberating it is to, maybe not a big mountain, because now I'm starting to panic, a small mountain. As you're climbing that mountain, imagine getting to the top and how high and how it makes you feel. Think about it. It's such a good feeling to be high versus when you're feeling depressed or sad. Energy's low, you're feeling low. When you're angry, you're feeling low. When you're sad, anxious, angry, that's all low vibration. And the whole thing is to try to be in a higher vibration, to feel better, to be more successful, to be healthy mentally and physically. We have to get high. So I know it sounds, again, druggy, but we can actually make ourselves high naturally. And I'm going to share with you the ways that I do it. One of them offhand is meditation. And you may be barking at me right now saying, meditation, I don't meditate. Well, I don't meditate either, okay? I didn't know meditation. I'm not an Om type of girl, or I wasn't, but I am now, because it's getting out of your head, getting out of the critic, getting out of the judgment, and just allowing yourself to be in your body and be quiet or be still. I know it's huge. It actually is really huge. And I'm hoping, as you continue to listen, I am going to do some really cool meditations with you and maybe even hypnotize you, because, I'm also a hypnotherapist, and I'm also an anger management specialist. And a big one is mindfulness too, which is really important for all of us to be mindful. So let me just go into something real quick. Mindfulness, because we use that word a lot, and I don't know if you even know like what that really means, like being mindful, thinking, okay, think, whatever, be more mindful. But someone showed me a little example, and I thought it was so neat. So it's you take some water and you take a sip. So if you have some water maybe on you right now, or coffee, or any liquid, anything, any liquid, anyway, take a sip. And you swallow. That actually helped me just take a sip because I was really thirsty. And that's it. Now, be mindful when you take a sip. You take a sip. And now I want you to think about how far it went down your throat. Think about how it was wet. Think about, was it cold? Was it warm? I hate those warm sips. That's mindfulness, really being in tune to what's happening at that very moment. And most people don't do that. And if we did, again, we'd be healthier, we'd be better. So, I went off on another tangent. What was I talking about? I was talking about getting high naturally. So your mental highness. So that's part of what your mental highness means to me. And the other part I thought about royalty. Who truly doesn't want to feel royal or special or exceptional? We all do. Let's get real. Who doesn't want to be looked at as beautiful or handsome or desirable? You do, I do, he does, she does, they do, them, us, we all do. So it's okay. It's actually better than okay. Just say it because you want it. And that's great because you should. That's one of the shoulds I'll tell you can say. So, but for the most part, do we feel special, desirable, worthy, all that good stuff? No, not necessarily. It doesn't start out that way for many of us. So here is where I'm going to shine my psychology and put on my mental highness crown. I really want a better one. So if you know better ones, the ones that go all the way around. But this is a cute one. And again, it's my birthday crown because December 20th is my birthday. And I had this from, I think, 2 years ago. It's the only crown I own. But I'm going to get some more. And I hope you do too. So as I put on my crown, I'm going to give you the answer to Dr. J. Where does mental health begin? Well, childhood. And if anyone tells you anything else, they're wrong. It's childhood. Your mental health begins in childhood. I'm sorry if I'm yelling. I feel very excited and passionate about it. So we have childhood experiences, parents doing their best, parents not doing their best. Maybe you didn't even have parents, or maybe you don't have parents. Maybe you were raised by other family, other relatives, not even a relative. Maybe you were in the system. Regardless of that, you definitely start your mental health in childhood, your very early years, with your initial impressions, with your experiences and your influences in life. This is where it all starts. And then depending on those experiences and on those impressions, that's when you actually behave a certain way. You start to make decisions and choices based on those early childhood experiences and impressions. And I know I cannot have the show without saying attachment. It's your attachment style and your attachment figures. Are they secure? Are they insecure? Are they avoidant? Are they detached? Are they totally messed up? All that wrapped up together. That's actually what forms what I was going to get to next is our belief system. So, depending on those things, you develop a belief system. And for many of us, it starts out unhealthy. And for those that are lucky, it is healthy. But then I haven't met you. Definitely hear about unhealthy and dysfunctional belief systems. So moving on to the next question is actually going to give us a little bit more insight into what is, Dr. J, a belief system. You know, I've been calling myself Dr. J. I don't even know if I said it at the beginning, but I'm so used to referring to myself as Dr. J because my patients call me Dr. J. So my name, like I said, is Dr. Janae Lomaski, and I refer to myself as Dr. Janae, Dr. J, obviously Janae. I've even been referred to as Dr. Babe. That has to do with a patient that he left my office and he said, "Thanks, babe." And I thought, oh no, that is not going to work for me. And I stopped him and I called him back and I said, "Listen, I respect our therapeutic relationship. So if you're going to call me anything, it's going to be Dr. Babe. And he laughed. So did I, of course, because that just came up. But he went back to calling me Dr. J. So anyway, another tangent. I guess that's going to be my thing. The next thing is, so what, Dr. J, is a belief system? Well, a belief system is what you believe about yourself and the world, what you believe about yourself and others, what you believe about yourself and relationships, what you believe about yourself and money, what you believe about yourself and success, what you believe about yourself and career. So it's not what you think, because people say, well, I know, this is thinking, I know I'm pretty, I know I'm smart, I know I'm handsome, but what do you really believe, right? The belief system, that solidifies how you function, how you behave, how you make decisions. All that stuff is based on what you really believe. So the next question is, what is your belief system? Let me share that with you and how I got to my mental highness. So my belief system used to be unhealthy. I believed I wasn't enough. I also believed I should stay quiet as not to make waves or start problems for anyone. I believed I had to please everyone or they wouldn't like me. So I believed I had to say yes to everything and everyone. Well, I don't now. I work really hard at this, and that's why I want to share it with you. Because if I can do it, you can do it. Now my beliefs is I am good enough, I'm smart enough, I am pretty enough, I am kind enough, I'm lovable enough, and all the enoughs I've doubted before. How do you get there? Well, you change that faulty belief system, okay? You just change it. You disregard and you X out that old negative belief system and you work on a new and healthy one. That's what you're going to do. And I'm going to help you along the way. I'm going to show you step by step. I've come a long way, and I've learned to say what I mean and mean what I say, and I still practice it. Now I'm much more assertive, but compassionate. But now I also mutually match energy. That's so important. Mutually match energy. And that's a start in how you get to your mental highness. Having said that, is it okay to not be okay? Yes, it's okay to not be okay. I've been not okay so many times. But with my new belief system and with all these good, effective life coping skills, I'm more okay than not okay. And so will you be. I'm saying a lot, and I read that you say a lot. So maybe it'll get better as I continue with my next episode. As I say again, well, let me say again that my last question, well, what is the most important thing that matters to you? Well, let me tell you what doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter what other people think, what other people say you should do, what other people want you to do. What matters is what you think, what you want to do, what pleases you, and what's best for you, what's actually good for you. Also, it matters that knowing that our emotions are universal. Like, we all feel this, okay? We all feel like we're going crazy sometimes. We all feel like we're going nuts. We all feel like this is it, but it's not. And that's why I'm here. Now you have me. And I'm here so you can do a check-in with me and hopefully feel less crazy, less sad, less angry, less anxious, less traumatized, or just less effed up. I hope I can make that happen for you than you usually feel. So I want to... The last thing I actually want to do, I have a lot more things, but I'm going through it because I think my time is running out for this episode. I'm like chatty. But I hope I gave you a good show and you enjoyed it. And I just want to thank you and tell you that I am so grateful for this opportunity. And I am so grateful for you listening to my show, Your Mental Highness. And I would love if you would leave a 5-star review if you like the show for me on Apple Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, and whatever platform that you listen to your podcast on. I will be doing this every week. And I'm so looking forward to you listening in, my royal listeners. And bring your crown. I hope you get yourself a crown today. Go out there, get a crown, see the difference, how good it feels when you put it on your head, and feel your own royalty and your own light coming up. So thank you again. I hope you enjoyed my show, Your Mental Highness, and I will see you next time.